So today we are going to start data warehousing concepts. So basically, data warehousing means like till yesterday we have discussed about the database. So what is the database? Before jumping onto the data warehousing, try to understand the database. I hope you already got an idea on a database. So in a simple terms, the place where you are going to store the data is called a data warehouse. Sorry, database. But when you have a place to store the data, then why you need a data warehouse? What exactly the difference between the database and data warehouse? Okay, so there are so many questions around this data warehousing, but like forget about all these questions. First try to focus what is the data warehouse and why this has been introduced when you are having a proper system called database. Okay, so that's the main thing you need to understand. But before that, you need to understand what is this term data warehouse. Okay, how exactly this is going to related to your day-to-day activities. So for a common person, how it's going to make a difference. For a business, how it's going to make a difference. So this is what you need to understand, Shruti.
Okay.
So now just think as a layman person, forget about like this conceptual things, whatever I've written in the PowerPoint and whatever I mentioned in the books or whatever I mentioned in the slides. So think
Okay.
as a normal person, okay? Why a data warehousing is required? Okay, let me put an example. If you're, for example, like there is a event going on in your home, okay? You would like to celebrate your baby birthday, okay? Then
Okay.
what are your activities? So you're supposed to come up with so many conclusions, like where you need to celebrate the birthday, on which day you need to celebrate the birthday, okay? And how many people you are going to call, what is your estimation in the perspective of revenue, how many people are going to attend to that, and what kind of a food you are going to arrange, and what kind of arrangements you are going to do as part of a decoration or as part of the food, as part of the ambience, everything. So there are so many things you should take a decision. Okay, so among all these things, what is the first and most important thing? Where exactly you need to conduct, or where exactly you need to perform this event? That is the most important thing. So fine, for that how much research you have to do? You have to go through all community, your like whatever the event places, okay, whatever the areas where you can celebrate this event, you need to search. So assume you search for like a 1 week, you search for 2 weeks, you search for 3 weeks, but still you are not getting a right spot based on your financial thing, based on your the number of the guests, based on your priorities. You didn't find anything. But suddenly one of your friend came and he said like, okay, so even I face the same problem, and but I got a wonderful a clubhouse near to my home. This is very good financially, and it can accommodate 100 people, and even the management is very good. So when your face will glow, because like you have already worked for 3 weeks, right? So suddenly
Yes.
one of your friend, like you can trust him like blindly, assume like you can trust him blindly. So then he comes and says, okay, this is how you need to do this. Okay, this is how you need to plan for this event. Okay, this is what the place where you can do this event, and this is what the budget, and this is what you are going to experience, and this is what the activities you can perform in this event. So don't worry about all these things. I'll give a report. That makes like a lot of relief to you, right? So
Yes.
simply you can start your working, okay, and simply you can focus on this thing more effectively than earlier. So compared to your last year birthday, you can perform this birthday much better than any birthday in your life, because you got a valuable suggestion, you got a valuable report, you got a awesome report within the time, okay, from your friend. So
Yes.
because of that, you are going to take a quick decision. Okay, so yes, I can trust this person, let's go and do it. So you don't think anything. You sometimes even you don't look into the ambience of the place also. Blindly you will pay the online. Okay, I'm going to reserve this thing on so and so date, and so and so people, you are going to send the invites. Everything is on place on the day one itself, and you can plan, and you can plan the event perfectly, you can perform the event perfectly, everything just because of your friend who suggested this. Now let's take the same scenario in a business also. You want to establish a new supermarket. Okay, in the place where there is no competition at all. Okay. So now,
Okay.
what are the things you're supposed to do? First, you need to understand the geographical information about that area. So what is the geographical information? What exactly is going to be, what kind of a transactions will happen in that geographical area? And how many customers are there in that geographical area? What are the competitors? Who are the competitors in that area? What are the competitive products in that area? Okay. And what is the people pulse in that area? And is my business is going to be success if I establish my business over there? How much loan I'm going to get it? And what kind of pro activities I have to do? What kind of an establishment activities? What kind of a license? What kind of a legal activities I have to search for? All this information, assume if you have a friend, okay, you can provide a report. Okay. So then you are going to take your decision quickly. You are going to establish your business, or you can choose some other place if that is not going to work out there. So all these things are happening on the minutes or on the day or like within the time whatever you are expecting. So how this is happening? Because of your friend, right? So
Yes.
same way, okay, let's take another example. For example, you are a CEO, okay, or a business manager in a company like called JP Morgan. So
Okay.
in the JP Morgan company, I would like to establish a new plan to my banking customers. But I want to study to establish that specific plan in my company. How you are going to study? Who are going to provide the data? What do you mean by data here? All the banking related information, whatever is happening in my bank, all the customers oriented information, all the profits and loss, gains and everything. Someone need to provide a report, right?
Yes.
And only I can take my decision. Then who is going to provide that report? Your friend. So now we will talk about that friend who helped you to celebrate your event, who helped you to take a decision while establishing a new supermarket, okay, and the friend who helped you to take a decision within your organization. Okay. So
Okay.
who is that friend? That friend I am calling as a data warehousing. Okay.
Okay.
So that friend I'm calling as a data warehousing. So now forget about like how the data warehousing working and what exactly happening in the data warehousing. But first try to understand what kind of a thing is making the data warehousing as your friend, and what are the benefits, what are the advantages. See, when you are having a data warehousing, it's going to generate a report. Okay, this is what going to happen. This is what going to happen if you do this business. This is what going to happen if you are going to perform this specific application in your organization, or this is going to happen if you are going to choose this specific clubhouse to perform your birthday event. So this is a kind of a help what you are going to get from a data warehousing. So ultimately, what I can conclude is a data warehouse is in a system, okay, which will be helpful in taking a decision. Does it make sense?
Yes.
So data warehousing is helping you to take a decision. That's what the system is doing. Then you may be
Yes.
ask like what my database is doing. When I'm talking about a database, see, you're having so many friends. Okay, it's not like only one friend who performed this event in club area, right? You're having n number of the friends, but the friend who performed his event last week, selecting that specific friend or approaching that specific friend, okay, is very crucial, very critical, and sometimes it's very almost like impossible, because in the real world you are going to have trillion billion of records. So out of those records, getting the information, getting the record for your specific needs is 99.9% is impossible. There should be some kind of a system which is going to process all those millions, trillions information into a specific result oriented information or decision making oriented information. That system is called data warehousing. So data warehousing is molding the data into a decision oriented data, whereas the databases are just meant for storing the data. It won't classify the data as a decision oriented data or like some other thing. Okay, so
Okay.
ultimately a data warehousing is in a system where it can help to generate a decision oriented system that will be useful for the business people.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the background, and how you want to frame this specific statement or the specific scenario is your wish. But data warehousing means whatever is outcome of the data warehousing is for the purpose of decision making. That's it. So decision making is a keyword whenever you are explaining data warehousing, or whenever you are putting your answer as part of the
Okay.
interview. Try to make sure stress on this point,
Okay.
decision making. Okay,
Okay.
so what exactly we are going to learn from this course is data warehousing basic design approaches, data warehousing operational process, technical problems in data warehousing, representative DSS tools, means decision support, supporting system tools, business intelligence. Okay, we are going to discuss one by one. So now let's see, like now we are going little bit technical. Till now I just spoke as a layman person, like who don't know anything about the data warehouse technically. Okay, if you ask a person like who don't know anything but still is having an idea business wise, so this is what a kind of an explanation you are going to get. But if you ask the same thing a technical person, how is going to answer this? So even before going to that, first try to understand how data warehousing, who invented this thing. So there is a person like Inman. Okay, Inman is a person who introduced this concept. Okay, he introduced this concept, Inman. Okay, so Inman is a person who is invented this concept. Then there is another person, Rolf Kimball. So what Kimball did is, whatever the concept he invented, the Inman invented, that same concept, he took that concept and he made it which is useful for the business. See, when I said like your friend is giving a suggestion, okay, which you can take the suggestion and you can perform your event. The same kind of a concept, Kimball took it and is applied to the business.
Okay.
Okay, he marketed, or like I cannot say market, but like I can say he molded which the same concept in the form of a business. Okay, so that the organizations can start using this data warehousing. Okay, so
Okay.
these two guys are like a kind of a inventors of the data warehousing, but the concept was introduced by Inman, was extended, and he made like is a business useful pattern is the person name is Kimball. Okay, so
Okay.
according to them, so in the technical thing, in a technical way, okay, a data warehousing is a subject oriented, time variant, non-volatile, integrated database for the purpose of decision making analysis. So this is a bookish definition. I'm repeating the definition again. A data warehouse is a subject-oriented, time-variant, non-volatile, integrated database for the purpose of decision making and analysis. Okay, so I'll come to this definition because I have to discuss each and every keyword, whatever I discussed in detail, but I will come back to this thing. So
Okay.
in other way, like how you are going to define a data warehouse. A data warehouse is a relational database that is designed for query and analysis rather than transaction processing. It usually contains historical data derived from transaction data. Here there are a couple of terms you might feel like confusing. What is this transaction processing? What is this historical data? What is this query and analysis? What is the transaction data? The first thing, a data warehouse is a relational database. You know what's the relational database. Okay.
Yeah.
That is designed for query and analysis. So normally, whatever the data warehouse you build, it's just like in a normal relational database, but you that is specifically built not to store the data. This is built for querying, means reading the data and performing your analysis. That is what the basic intention. So this is designed for query and analysis rather than transactional processing. What do you mean by transactional processing? If you go to Walmart, okay, if you go to Walmart, if you purchase a TV, what's going to happen? He is going to scan the TV barcode. Ultimately, the price, the date of purchase, the discount, everything is going into the system. What kind of a system? That can be any database system or anything in the background. That is called a transactional processing systems. But your data warehouse is the data, whatever is already stored, you are going to use it for your querying and analysis purpose. So normally data warehouse contains historical data. What do you mean by historical data? In 1947, for example, JP Morgan was established. Okay. So from 1947 to till 2016 November 9th, all the information is called historical data. Whatever is happening on November 19th at 7:20 p.m. CST is current data. Okay.
Yeah.
So transactional data means whatever is happening now is a transactional data. But like in the real time, so normally, so whatever is happened till yesterday or till last week is a historical data. So that's how business is going to construct. Few business like kind of a gaming business or like to kind of a what gaming maybe there are some games like which will be calculated in the milliseconds and microseconds. Okay, so such kind of a data. Okay, maybe some lotteries or something. So for those, whatever is happened in last minute is a historical. Whatever is happening right now is a current data. So for some business like a banking, whatever is happened today is a current data. Whatever is happened till yesterday is a historical data. Like that. So there are different kind of a business. Based on the business, you are going to call it as a historical and current. So, but ultimately, whatever is the transactional data, okay. So the transactional data is completely different than the historical data. Historical data means whatever is happened yesterday is historical. Whatever is happening now is a transactional. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what is the data warehouse? This data warehouse is derived, okay, or this database is, sorry, data warehouse is in a database designed for query and analysis. So it's going to store the historical data. That is what the first bullet point meaning in a normal words. A data warehouse environment includes extraction, transformation, and loading, solution, online analytical processing, and data mining capabilities, client analysis tools, and other applications that manage the process of gathering the data and delivering the business users. So whatever it is, like whatever he mentioned over there, just I want to put in a two simple step methods. Like if I'm looking at the data warehouse from a 100th floor, okay. So when you're looking down from 100th floor, so what exactly you're going to see? All the roads, all the lanes, you looks like a small lines. All the cars, you looks like a small buttons, right? So all the people like who are walking looks like an ants. So the same thing, even if I look at the data warehouse, how is going to look like? This data warehouse look like two different kind of a boxes putting into a big box. Okay, so that is what you are going to see on very top angle. So what are those two boxes within the data warehouse? One is ETL, another one is a OLAP. Okay, what is this? What are these two major things? So still there will be some other things, but still the two major components are ETL and OLAP. If I put it ETL in a clear form, E means extraction, T means transformation, L means loading. Okay, what do you mean by this? Extraction means whatever the data, okay, whatever the data is there in your source side. Okay, I will come to this later, but try to understand. E means extracting the data from different kind of a source systems. Whatever the data you extracted, you are going to transform it, and whatever you are going to load into data warehouse is called loading. So this is three-step activity: extraction, transformation, loading. So you are extracting the data, whatever is required for your decision making. You are molding the data. You are transforming the data in such a way that that will be useful for your query and analysis. Okay, for the decision making analysis. Once you transform the data, just load the data into a data warehouse. Is that clear?
Yeah, like pulling, modifying, and storing.
Exactly. Maybe in simple terms, yes.
Yeah.
So once that is done, what is the other entity? OLAP. So everything looks good. Like you are extracting the data, you're molding the data, you're loading the data. But what is there for business here? All these things are technical. But how business will understand? There should be some kind of a mechanism. There should be some kind of a mechanism which is going to put your data in business readable format. Okay, in business readable format, like a graph or a spreadsheet or a Acrobat Reader format or a Excel CSV format, whatever the format, whatever your business say, I want like a pie chart or I want like a graph. So your system should able to put those results into a specific kind of a format where business can easily understand it. That system is called OLAP. Okay. And there are so many things like data mining capabilities, client analysis tools, and other applications that manage the process gathering. So there are n number of the tools in the market. Once you have a data, then just like play around like the data with the data. Okay, so there are like so many forecasting systems. So how they're going to tell the decisions ahead of the time, because they're mining the data from last couple of years. They're mining the data, and based on that data they are going to tell you, okay, this is what going to happen in the stock market for in the next 6 months or 5 months. Like that, there are so many things happening in the current industry, so where you need lot of data mining. Okay, and there is a lot of need of data analysis. Okay, now, so on the overall, like what you can get from the second point is, if you look into the data warehouse, you are going to see two major components. One is ETL, other one is OLAP. ETL means pulling the data, modifying the data, loading the data, okay, or storing the data. Next one is OLAP, online analytical processing. The OLAP system is meant for presenting the data to the business so that they can understand whatever the results you captured as part of the data warehouse.
Okay. And
So
what is the data mining means?
data mining means, for example, okay, let's take a share business. Okay, so there are so many share, I don't know, like stocks and shares, the concept of
Yeah.
the stocks and shares. So there are so many firms, so which will help you to invest your money on so and so shares. How they are going to project, how they are going to predict the data? They have to do some kind of a data mining, right? I mean, data mining means deep research, and it's kind of a forecasting how
Yeah.
exactly is going to happen. Even if you look at the weather reports, they are going to forecast this is what going to happen based on the current weather. Okay,
Okay.
does that make sense?
Yeah. Maybe like prediction.
Yeah, kind of prediction. But
Okay.
it's like kind of it's not a prediction, but it's analyzed prediction. That's what I can say. Mining means based on the data, whatever you're having from last 10 years or 5 years, you're going to do multiple researches on the data.
Okay.
Okay, it's kind of a digging the data into much deeper. So the next thing, it's a series of procedures, and tools that helps the enterprise to understand more about itself, its products, its customers, and the market services. Sorry, market its services. So what does it mean? So how you are going to achieve this ETL and OLAP and all these things? How you are going to achieve all these concepts into an action by using different kind of tools? When I'm talking about the ETL, so what kind of a tool I'm using? There are so many tools in ETL. Okay, ETL is just a kind of a functional, a technical area where there are a lot of tools. Informatica is one of the best example. Data Stage is another example. Ab initio is another example. There are so many ETL tools. And how about the OLAP? Cognos. Okay, Cognos. All the reporting oriented tools are as part of the OLAP. Maybe business objects, Cognos, like all these things. So now what we are going to learn is part of ETL. Means we are responsible to extract the data, and we are responsible to transform the data. We are responsible to load the data into data warehouse. Once you load the data into data warehouse, then it's responsibility of OLAP people to present the data to the business. Okay. So ultimately, what I'm trying to say is data warehousing is not a technology, or data warehouse is not a technology. Okay, it's not possible to purchase like a laptop or like a hardware. You cannot purchase a data warehouse. Okay, but you can build one. Like what? Building one means what? Like it's not like a hardware to build. It's not like in a software to create. So data warehouse is a process. It's an application. So where you need to create multiple entities, you need to create multiple processes, multiple jobs, okay, to perform or to achieve your data warehousing in your organization. So you're supposed to create a different kind of jobs, a different kind of process to achieve the data warehousing concepts. That's why it's mentioning like it's not in a technology, it's not in a hardware, it's not in a kind of a product what you're going to purchase. Based on your needs of your business, you're going to build one specific system.
Okay.
Okay.
Krishna, then what is the difference between database and data warehouse?
Yeah.
We can give the query to the database also.
Okay. So, for example, I'm having 1 trillion records in my database. Okay. Even like say relation database, not even like a normal database, it's a relation database. So when you try to query, okay, what kind of information you can query? Select a star from EMP. So what you are going to get? You are going to get the employee details, all the employee details. Or you can write a query like select a star from EMP where the employee belongs to Chicago. Then you are going to get all the employees belongs to Chicago. But I want to know the employee who is working in Chicago organization and who went on vacation for more than 30 days and who is earning a bonus of more than 30,000 in 2016. This is what my requirement. This is what my report. Okay, I want all the employees who are working in Chicago organization who are earning more than $30,000 as their bonus. My manager wants this report. So I need to have, because when I'm talking about the database now, how many records are there? There are like a trillion records in my database. And there are like unwanted tables, like anything. For example, there are like 1,000 tables. To derive this specific report, I don't need 1,000 tables, right? I just need 4 or 5 tables. Then if I recruit a person, yes, you are right. I can write a query, but how long it's going to take? The same example, if you want to celebrate an event, yes, you can do it by going to different clubhouses, by doing so much analysis. Yes, you can do it. How long it's going to take? It's going to take me to analyze 1,000 different tables. Then I have to come up, okay, out of the 1,000 tables, 996 tables are not related. So only focus on these 4 tables. To come to that conclusion, I need to work almost a month. After that, I will say only these 4 tables are related to this thing. Now, second day, I might get another report, another requirement. And again, I cannot go again and I cannot research for 1,000 tables, right? So what I'm expecting is whatever the tables are related to my business, okay, there will be 100 tables, 1,000 tables which are related to the transactions. See, when I'm talking about a television purchase, there are so many things which are going into my database, like all the television details, like television dimension, television size, everything. But for the business, why he will bother about the dimensions of a television? He will just bother about the sales, right? Why he need like what is the diagonal length, what is the width, how it is coming, is it coming in a box or is it shipped or not? He doesn't care. But still there will be data, right? There will be different kind of tables in the database. So if my business is not interested in those details, the inventory details, why I supposed to analyze the inventory things whenever I need a report? So because of that analyzation, because of the time you are spending on 1,000 tables instead of 4 tables, you are going to kill the time, you are going to lose the time while generating the report to the business. So during that time, if other business or instead of Walmart, if Sam's or like, if the Costco is performing this analysis much quicker, then he's going to establish his own business. He's going to become a great competitor to Sam's, right?
Yes.
So nowadays in the business, time is very crucial. The amount of the time you are spending to take a decision is very, very crucial. So that's the reason I want a system which is only meant for decision oriented tables, not for all the tables. So when I'm saying all the tables means what? That's a transactional processing systems. When I'm saying only decision oriented means what? That is called a data warehousing or decision support systems.
Okay.
Is that clear?
You mean it increases the performance?
No, not the performance. Not the performance. Basically, see, let me put it this way. Okay, there
Decreases
is
the
a,
time.
you know M&Ms? You know M&Ms?
Yeah.
Okay, so there is a big basket with all M&Ms filled in. Okay, I want to get, there is something within that M&Ms, okay, which is just look like an M&M, but it's not an M&M. If I ask you to get me that M&M, what you're going to do? I just want the M&Ms which are written like a Krush, okay, which will form me as a Krushkate. What you'll do? You are going to search for like 100 hours, right? Because it's a big box. I need to separate everything which is not related to the alphabets. But assume you have another bowl or another small jar with only alphabetical M&Ms. So it's very simple for you now. Just quickly grab the K, grab the R, grab the U like that. Just simply like for Krushkatek, you won't take like more than 5 minutes.
Yes.
But if you're having a big jar, even though all are M&Ms, even everything is related to your business, I understand. But for your decision, I just need Krushkatek, the letters which forms a Krushkatek. I don't need all the M&Ms. Simple. Okay. That is called database. This is called data warehouse.
Okay.
So if two persons are there, okay, so just you mention like, okay, so the one I'm having the big jar with all the M&Ms. You are having only the jar with Krushkatek. Who is going to, with the alphabets? Who is going to win? So you are the person you are going to win, right?
Yes.
Ultimately, the business also same. If you are having a goal-oriented data, then you are going to win. So for the business, this is what required. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Now, this is what the definition I was talking before coming to the slides. Data warehouse is subject-oriented, integrated, non-volatile, and time-variant collection of data in support of management's decisions. Okay, so this is a bookish definition because like Inmon derived this definition, but I'll come to this later. I don't want to spend much time on these things because like I don't prefer to go to slide by slide, but like putting the slide which will create kind of an interest. That's the only reason I'm sharing the slides.
Okay.
Now, try to understand what exactly a data warehouse in a simple terms. Okay, hope like by now you might have an idea like what is a data warehouse, but still I want to go a little bit deeper into data warehousing in a normal way. Okay, I don't want to go from a technical way. For example, your friend is coming to your home, okay, or like a guest is coming to your home. You're supposed to prepare food or like any recipe, like whatever you want to prepare for him. So that is what you intended to do for the lunch. Okay, so your guest is coming around 2 o'clock, so that means like you have to prepare lunch to him. Now think what kind of an activities you and your husband is going to do. The first thing is you are going to decide at what time he's coming. Based on that, you are going to start your preparation. So as he's coming around like a 2 o'clock or like 12 o'clock, so it's a kind of a time for the lunch. So you're supposed to prepare the lunch, right? So that is what your requirement. Okay, I'm trying to stress some words like whatever I need to stress them back again. So this is what your requirement. Your requirement is to preparing of a lunch. Next thing, to prepare the lunch, what exactly you need? Okay, what kind of groceries you need, what kind of ingredients you need. For that, first you need to decide what kind of a product, what kind of a recipe you are going to prepare. That recipe I'm calling as a product. To prepare the recipe, you need a couple of ingredients, right? So what are those ingredients? You are going to list it out. Okay, you are going to write it on a document. So that means you are documenting all your ingredients and grocery list. Okay, so now your objective is ready. I mean, what exactly you are going to prepare, that recipe, okay, is there in your document. And the ingredients, whatever required for that specific recipe is there in your document. And you know where you need to collect those ingredients, in which store you need to collect those ingredients is also documented. Everything is documented. Now the time came to bring the ingredients into your home. So now your husband went to the grocery store and he purchased all these ingredients from Walmart. But you are preparing some different kind of a recipe, then few ingredients are not there in the Walmart. He went to the Indian grocery and he bought something, and he went to the other grocery like a Costco or some other place where he can find those specific ingredients, and he collected all the ingredients from different kind of a sources, sorry, stores, and he brought him into the kitchen, okay, so our home. Once you get them into the home or kitchen, then he started cleaning it up, okay, all the ingredients, because like we cannot cook the things directly, right? So we're supposed to clean them. After cleaning the ingredients, then again you need to think about your recipe and requirements, your guest requirements. So if your guest is taking more spice or less spice, is going to prefer like much salty or like not at all salty, and what kind of a priorities your guest is having, based on that only you're supposed to cook, or else your recipe is going to spoil. So now you know what is your guest requirements, okay, and what is his priorities. So based on that, you start preparing the food for him, okay. Now you know everything, you have documented everything, what kind of a recipe and what kind of a requirements your friend is having, everything you know in your mind or in your document. Based on that, you prepared a recipe. Now the time came for your friend to come to your home, and he came to your home exactly around 12 o'clock, and you all started preparing the food on the dining table, okay, because you need to arrange the food on a dining table. So while arranging the food on dining table also make a difference in impressing your guest. So the way you are presenting the food makes a lot of difference. So if you're serving a soup, then it should be in a proper gesture or in a proper bowls, okay, with a proper spoons. So if you're serving kind of a biryani or some other thing, you should serve in a different way. If you're serving as a snacks, you should serve in a different way. So based on the recipe, based on your client interest, and here in the client instance, your guest interest, you're supposed to serve the food. So now I'm repeating all of my steps once again. First, you got a call from your friend that he's coming at so and so time. So your target now is like he's coming for lunch. You need to prepare food based on your guest requirements. Okay, based on your guest taste. That is what your basic step. Second step, you went to the grocery stores to collect the ingredients to prepare that specific recipe. Third thing is, once you bring the ingredients into your home, you started cleaning them. Once all the ingredients were clean, okay, then you started preparing the food by considering your guest recommendations, or like whatever is requirements, okay. I didn't get that particular word, but like based on your guest priorities, you are going to prepare your recipe. Once recipe is done, okay, you are going to put it on a dining table with all serving bowls and whatever the things which are required to present that food to the guest, okay. So this is what the overall steps you are going to perform when a guest is coming to home. The same thing will happen in data warehousing. So assume JP Morgan is your client, okay. What this client want? This client want, I want to generate a report for all my last year sales compared to the current year sales, all of my sales. Okay, that is what the report is want. That is what the recipe you're supposed to prepare now. Okay, what is that recipe you're supposed to prepare to the JP Morgan? The last year sales versus the current year sales, or the report, the sale report compared to the last year to current year. To prepare this recipe, what exactly you need? Because what are the ingredients for this recipe? The sales information from the loans, from the banks, for the ATMs, from the insurance, everywhere. So you are going to collect all these ingredients from the ATMs, from the banks, from insurance companies, or from the banking sector, from the different kind of areas. You're having your financial information for the JP Morgan. All these are different stores. You're going to extract the data from these different kind of stores. Did you get my point here?
Yeah.
Once we extract the data, okay, so please remember this term, I'm extracting, pulling the data from different kind of sources. Once you capture this data, then take the data into your home or kitchen. That place I'm calling in my data warehousing as a staging area, where you are going to cleanse the data. Cleansing means what? Clearing or cleaning the data. What do you mean by cleaning? So, okay, if the ingredients means taking out like what are the unwanted things from the ingredients, like a stone, small stones, or like if in case of any thing from the ingredients, you are going to take it off. The same thing happens in the data also. Whatever is not required, just take it off. Whatever is not in good shape, just mold it into a good shape. So in this suitable format to your report. The same thing you will do, right? If you get in like onions, you don't put the onion directly, right? You are going to take it off, peel it off, and you're going to make the small pieces. Then you're going to put in your food. Same thing. So whatever the data you're getting, either trim it or like mold it or whatever you do, somehow make it is useful for your reporting. So that is called transforming the data, where you are performing that in the staging area. Okay? The first step, I extract the data. The second step, I am transforming the data. The third step, once everything is done, so where you are going to put the data, where you are going to put your recipe on the dining table. Yes, here my dining table is my data warehouse. You are going to put your data on your data warehouse. That is called loading. By this, I am done with my 3 steps. 1, extracting the data, transforming the data, loading the data. My work is done as a ETL developer. Now, there is another team. So this is the team which is going to serve the data, serve the recipe to the business or to your guest. So here my recipe is this data, whatever I stored in my data warehouse. Now, there is a second team called OLAP, Online Analytical Processing Team. This team is specialized in presenting the data according to the business requirements. So my JP Morgan client wants a report. So how that report want to be? That is what the question these guys will ask to JP Morgan. Then the JP Morgan will say, I just need a kind of a pie chart compared to the last year's sales to the current sales. Then these guys takes the data and these guys applies different kind of rules by using different kind of tools, and they will present the data which will come as a pie chart, or which will come as a graph, or which will come as a spreadsheet. The same thing, the way you are putting the soup in your bowls and the food or like normal rice in your plates. The same thing. Whatever he wants based on the, or whatever the recipe you prepared based on that, you're going to present the data. So that is the responsibility of OLAP. And finally, the client is happy. Oh, this is what a system which is working under the data warehousing from start to the end. Okay. So there are so many systems, there are so many processes like a data mining and data analysis, but everything is started from the point of the data warehouse. Once the data is stored in the data warehouse, from there, whether you present the data or whether you dig the data, whether you mine the data or whether you do analysis, whatever you want, you can do. But being a ETL resource, my job is extract the data, transform the data, load the data into data warehouse. This is what my responsibility. Okay, this is what we are going to learn by using a tool called Informatica in next 30 classes.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. By this, I'm stopping for today, Shruti.
Okay.
So I'll share this document with you. So try to understand. Hope you got some idea what is the data warehousing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So tomorrow we will discuss again some more concepts of the data warehouse. But like I will expect like you will come up with some questions and you will complete that downloading process. Make sense?
Okay. 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 Okay, Krishna.
Okay. So thanks, Shruti. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
And Shruti, do let your friends or anyone interested in this class so that like we can join them.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Krishna.
So anyway, it will take like one more week to start actual Informatica.
Okay.
So from next Monday, we are going to start it completely.
Okay.
Only on Informatica side, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Rosina.
Thank you. Thank you, Krishna.
Bye.
Bye.